Start us off,
Coach, you kind of talked about it on Monday, after the Kentucky game, your guys being embarrassed, and the 4 games since, the defense has been just completely different. What can you say about it?
Well, I think our guys truly understand it. That's what we've built our program on, and we got away from it, and we needed to get back to it. I think they really realized that, and I think that's where you all often ask me about experience and guys that have played together and guys that have been in big games, and and I know they believe in it. I know they believe that it works, but I think it's been 2 halves. This half tonight and the first half against Kentucky, again, where we weren't very good offensive. We were playing way too fast, and that hurts our defense a little bit. It really does. If we turn the ball over, take quick shots, we just don't get a chance to get back to play 5-on-5. But when we're doing the right things offensively, we can even be an even better defensive team.
Steve?
Do you think you are at that point now where your defense is back to where it was last year when y'all were shutting down teams consistently, or is it too early to tell?
Well, I thought we were good other than the fact that we didn't start the game. We were giving up offensive rebounds, and we were there. They're long. They're a very long team, and we were getting pushed inside a little bit, and we really didn't block out, and we were walking underneath the rim, and their length was able to tip the ball, and we didn't jump a couple times in the first half, and a couple times we got our hands on it, but it bounced their way, and that happens. But we just the first half, I think in the first 4 or 5 minutes, we gave up 6 or 7 offensive rebounds, and that's we had gotten away from that, or we did a great job in the Kentucky game of not doing that. And tonight, I just didn't think we were as locked in quite as much as we needed to be, and that's what we addressed at halftime. That we weren't quite as intense tonight defensively in the first half, and offensively not playing with the same focus as we did the other night.
John and Wes?
Rick, were you concerned at all about a letdown after such a big win over Kentucky?
I was, and the fact, even though that their preparation was good, we talked about it, but I still felt there's so much that goes around on senior night. I mean, there's just so much that's happening, and it should be a special night for your seniors, because these 4 guys that we've had, they have a lot to be very proud of. But with their families coming in, it's been a special night. And a 9 o'clock game. It gets you worry about a lot of things, or you're concerned. I don't like using the word worry, but you're concerned about, were the players that extra couple hours in the afternoon, do they go back and sleep? Does it get them out of their cycle, whatever it may be? And then you worry about the emotion being too high, even though I thought Admiral and Kyle were terrific with that. I thought they really kept it under control, but I also felt like some of the other guys, Jordan Boone didn't have a particularly good game tonight. Lamonte, they were too. Grant, those 3 guys didn't come out the way they needed to, but I thought Admiral and Kyle were really locked in. And sometimes you expect it to be the other way, where the seniors are a little bit too emotional, but those guys I thought were terrific. And but we weren't as good. We weren't as good in the first half as we should have been, especially offensively and rebounding.
Rick, I know you've probably been through a lot of senior nights and seen some that were probably more emotional than others. Was that one of the more emotional ones, it seemed like?
Well, I think they're all pretty emotional, but this group is a special group. They are, and the way they respect Brad and Lucas, I think, paints the great picture. Because I mean, they could arguably be the captains of this team. They really could. Those 2 walk-ons. And my only regret is that at no point in time were we able to put both of those guys on scholarships. Because if we had 2 scholarships, we would have given it to both of them as soon as we could have. We just haven't been in that situation. They come in every day, and they're so well respected. And I really appreciate when guys come out of the game. If you notice, they'll go right to Lucas sometimes and Brad and talk about what's going on in the game, because they know those 2 guys are 2 of the most cerebral guys on our team. They respect them for how hard they work to try to get them prepared by learning the other team's offenses and give them a great look at it. And so I just think there's just a deep-seated respect that these guys have for each other. And, I know where we started 4 years ago, and those 4 guys should be really, really proud of what they've helped create here. And they've got as much to do with it as – and should they be emotional – yeah, why not? Because they put their heart and soul into it.
Finish up with Grant and Mike.
How important are they for you as a coach? How is a good set of walk-ons change the way a coach does his job?
Well, I think when we came in and it started, I've said before, our first spring here, the guy that bought into it was Kevin Punter. And then Admiral came in, and Admiral understood working and what it would take. But he would tell you that he thought he understood it totally, but he realized that he had a long way to go. But he was willing to and he has become the ultimate gym rat. I mean, he's in there more than you can imagine. Kyle had no idea what he was getting into, but you know what? He never balked at it. He came in and said, "Hey, if those two guys are going to do it, I'm going to do it." And then Lamonte was here, and once Lamonte got here, that happened. But Brad and Lucas came in. I think Brad started the summer with us, and Lucas was on the track team and found out that we needed some walk-ons, and he switched over. And those were the guys that were in the gym all the time. And I remember I would get on the other guys that were on scholarship, like these guys are in here doing what needs to be done. But they're the ones that laid this foundation where we are today. There's no question they are the ones as a group that laid this foundation.
Rick, you guys are playing for an SEC title on Saturday now. How much do you expect your players to be able to draw on the experience they had last year against Georgia?
Well, it's different. I mean, we're going to be on the road in an environment where Alabama just won a huge game against their arch rival, be their senior night. I think it's an early game, isn't it? So, what time is early? How early is early? What? So that's, we'll deal with it and have to get going. But it's going to be, I mean, Auburn, the team, I think coming, I don't know what the preseason rankings were and all that, but I just know that the teams that we've been playing the last couple of weeks, other than Mississippi was rated up there highly. And Auburn's clearly in a great position for the NCAA tournament. I mean, where they're going to get a good line. And so it's going to be a hard game, but it's supposed to be hard, and we know that, and we're going to have to go in and really have to play well. Thank you, Coach. All right, thank you, guys.